Welcome to Mandara, Loft. We're back. Today, I want to know how much your children know about the planet. What pigeons have done for me. Why it's a great hobby. I was kicked out of school at a very early age. I was a very poor student. And I learned more being with the pigeons than I did the whole time I was in school. For one, let's talk about how birds home. There's a lot of theories that they home by magnetic fields, the gravitational pull of the earth. Other theories between the sun and hearing, different things. But it does more. There's more to pigeons than just that. Your blood pressure. This is what pigeons can do for you. Not only can it make you calm, like tropical fish, and it's good therapy, but doctors don't even know why you have high blood pressure. A lot of it is around the moon. About, again, the gravitational pull, how sensitive your body is to it, whether you get high blood pressure or not, and the severity of it. Electricity. I worked for a power plant. Maybe 40 years ago, Canada had a big blackout. The reason was the K factor. Again, that has to do with the magnetic fields and what is it called there? Magnetic storms. Right now, it's a beautiful day for us. But for pigeons, migrating birds like geese, falcons and stuff that leave and go to different countries, swans that fly and migrate in Germany. They go from Germany, they go to the Black Sea in the wintertime. Magnetic storms will throw these birds off course. And you don't know that you're in a magnetic storm because it's a beautiful day. But Canada had a magnetic storm. The K factor was up maybe above 8 or 9. I don't remember what it was. This is going back a long time ago. But it caused a blackout in Canada. All the circuit breakers kicked off. These circuit breakers are as tall as this loft. And you have big poles, fiberglass poles, with rubber tips pulling them out to reset everything. And somehow the magnetic thing, like static electricity or whatever it is, trips these things. And it was very dangerous because the electricians could be electrocuted by being close to the circuits when they pull these boxes out. They used to wear like space suits, rubber suits and things. And these are things you can't see. And to everybody outside shopping and driving, it looks like a beautiful day. Another things pigeons I learned from, I had friends that were CBers. They used to have, what do they call, ham-operated radios. And they would stay in their cellars, and they had big antennas outside, and they would talk to people in Japan, all over. Now we have the internet, but internet you pay for. This was something back then they were just using with the bounce of the sun. There was a signal, then it would bounce and go. Now, I'm not sure which way it was. If the signal was good, and you can talk to China, say, that might be bad for the pigeons, for homing instinct. But if it was bad, if it was good for the pigeons, it might be the other way. So I don't know which way the signal was, if the signal was good or the signal was bad, for what was good for racing. But these are things that you don't see and people take for granted, don't realize that we're in this stuff. And me being the student I was in school, I learned so much from the pigeons about your health, your blood pressure, the calmness that the birds give you, how the birds work, health of your body, vitamins, minerals, things like that. It's probably one of the best hobbies your children could ever get started in. It's a dying sport, but there's other things with pigeons. There's showbirds, you don't have to race, and it's not a sissy sport. There are a lot of powerful people that flew pigeons. Professional fighters, Mike Tyson, Marvin Hagler, gangsters, Lucky Luciano. It's a man's sport, but there's kings and queens that did it. It's got a wide field of different people, from doctors and lawyers to gangsters and bullies. A lot of people would talk about intelligent people. You think of world leaders when it comes to breeding, like race horses. Your best horses are English. English are known to be very genetic. When you think of thoroughbreds and the very best, you never think of the United States. You always think of the class and the royalty of Europe, where they started foundations of master breeding. Well, that happens right here. This is where these come from, and they're nothing more than a rock dove, which is a street rat that they found under park trees and in the parks and under bridges, and man developed them into all different types of birds. Genetically, this is something that you could develop yourself to make your own families and stuff. I don't want to get off the subject. I'm trying to stay with the education of the birds, what it can do for you. IRC Club wants to educate our members on everything from when we have our races. We check the K factor. We're going to check for magnetic storms. That's usually done by out to sea there. Every 15 minutes they broadcast K factor by naval something or other, but you need the CB to get on their wavelength, and I'm not really good on the subject to explain it, but there are people in the club that do understand, especially if they're sailors, and they know the number you call, and you listen to their band, and every 15 minutes there's a weather broadcast on a K factor or a magnetic storm or something, because it has to do with reading their instruments. And if it affects their instruments and it's bad, it's something we have to consider when we're racing pigeons. If you're showing pigeons, it doesn't make any difference. You're just doing, that's when you want to go for healthiness and stuff. Then you want to see, like the Farmer's Almanac, certain time of year to plant, make your plants healthier, give the most fruit, resistance to bugs and this and that. There's things in the almanac which teaches you how to go. There's people that actually farm and do this stuff in their own yard, and they swear by this Farmer's Almanac. So the moon and all that stuff does have an effect on our livestock and on your personal health. And science is a big thing today. A lot of myths and stuff are being exposed. It's not witchcraft. There's science behind this. And pigeons especially racing pigeons, has helped me a lot understand a lot about health and keeping my birds healthy and promoting a sport that keeps your children off the computers and out of gangs and doing something other. It's a good hobby. It's a great hobby. It's not a good hobby. It's a great hobby. And you as adults should be more involved in teaching your children good things that they can learn from it. If they stay with it, they stay with it. If they don't, they don't. But they will learn something, and they'll get something out of pigeons. I know I did. On the other hand, in order to do this, you have to be in Vero Beach, Florida, because we're the ones that are going to be teaching this. So, if nothing else, look it up on the internet. Find things on magnetic fields, migration of birds. See how much of the story I'm telling is pretty much what you agree on or don't agree. I'm always open for comments. If I can learn something new, especially with my hobby, I'd be tickled to death. Impress me. Move to Florida, that's one way to impress me. Join the IRC club in Vero Beach. I'm waiting for you to get your tickets. Come on down. And let's keep the sport alive. It's a great hobby. Save your children. Give them something to look forward to. And at least you know where they are. That's enough for today. I hope this little video was helpful in some way or another. But pigeons is a great hobby, and you'll get a lot out of it, and so will your children. That's enough for me. Get your ticket. Time's a ticking. We're out of here. Keep them flying.